Aloha, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So it was just recently reported that Paulie Malignaggi, he did a little bit of an interview to promote his fight coming up with Shawn Porter. And in that interview, Manny Pacquiao's name got brought up. So Paulie Malignaggi, in typical fashion, always speaking his mind, he let the media and the public know what his thoughts were on Manny Pacquiao. It all started basically with Shawn Porter doing an interview talking about his fight with Paulie Malignaggi. And Shawn Porter, like he always does, he brought up his experience sparring with Manny Pacquiao, how it basically prepared him for fights like this. And Paulie Malignaggi, in response to that, he said, "I don't rate Manny Pacquiao as a very good fighter. I don't rate him as a very intelligent fighter, actually." And then the writer, Chris Williams, he would go on to say, Malignaggi might have a point. Pacquiao is known more for his hand speed, power, and movement than he is for being an intelligent fighter. Pacquiao is kind of reliant on his trainer, Freddie Roach, to tell him what to do and how to go about attacking his opponents. Pacquiao isn't like Floyd Mayweather Jr., who is able to come up with his own ideas in the ring without having a trainer break it down for him. End quote. If you guys want to read that whole article, you can go to boxingnews24.com. That was by Chris Williams. So let me go ahead and give my thoughts on what Paulie Malignaggi said and what Chris Williams said. The first thing I want to say is I agree with Chris Williams when he said that Pacquiao is more reliant on his trainer. He is not the type of fighter who is just going to automatically adjust to a problem that he's having in the ring. He's going to keep doing the same thing from round to round. That is, try to land the left hand. Okay, if I can't land the left hand this way, I'll throw the left hand faster. You know, if I can't land it then, I'll throw the left hand harder. And that's really his strategy. If he does not land that left hand, or if he doesn't intimidate you with his speed, then Manny Pacquiao is out of ideas. And I think that's what we've seen in the Tim Bradley fight. All right, so now let's go ahead and get into Malignaggi's comments. Now, one thing you have to take into consideration when you're talking about Paulie Malignaggi is this is possibly the best color analyst in the sport of boxing right now. He just won an award for being the best analyst or commentator of the year. So the point that I'm making is this is not just coming from some dumbass casual fan like a Skip Bayless or like the ridiculous people who just post messages over and over on YouTube. This is coming from one of the most brightest and the most deepest analytical commentators that there is today. I would say that Paulie Malignaggi is the new Teddy Atlas. That's what I would say. He breaks it down like that. You know, in a way, you can almost say, well, I won't go that far. I was about to say he dissects things even more than Teddy, but let's just say they're on the same level, okay? Paulie Malignaggi is definitely the new Teddy Atlas. Just like Max Kellerman, he is trying to be the new Larry Merchant. If Tupac's ambitions was to be a rider, then Max Kellerman's ambitions is to be the next Larry Merchant. So like I said before, Paulie Malignaggi, he is a genius when it comes to breaking down boxing matches. I mean, not trying to pat myself too hard on the back, but I know how to break down fights. But when I listen to Paulie Malignaggi, even he shows me things that I didn't pay attention to. Little subtle things that I didn't notice. So any person who could do something like that is a very knowledgeable observer in the sport of boxing. And I understand Manny Pacquiao fans, you guys are going to go crazy talking all type of shit about Malignaggi, making it all personal, etc., what you guys usually do. But you have to seriously sit down and ask yourself, do I know more than Paulie Malignaggi when it comes to the sport of boxing? Because, I mean, even I'm telling you guys, I don't know as much as Paulie Malignaggi. The man knows what he's talking about when it comes to boxing. Paulie may not go down as one of the best boxers of this era, but he will definitely go down as pound for pound one of the best color analysts in the sport of boxing. And I am so glad that they have someone like Paulie Malignaggi on one of the biggest boxing networks, which is Showtime. I've always said that, you know, I wish that they could have someone like Teddy Atlas or Paulie on HBO. Oh, man, that would be just fantastic, wouldn't it be? But, you know, I'll settle for him being on Showtime. So anyway, once again, when you have somebody like Paulie saying something like this, it's kind of hard not to at least say, well, you know what? He makes sense about certain things. But to try to just completely write it off and say, oh, he's just a bitch, a dick rider, this and that, whatever, whatever. You know, the whole thing is you gotta also think about the fact, what reason would Paulie have, what reason would he have to hate on anyone? He has no reason to hate on any fighter. He's just speaking the truth. He is very good at breaking down fighters' flaws. And that's what it comes down to. That is what it comes down to. And once again, you have to ask yourself, for the people who hate on Floyd Mayweather, you have to really sit here and ask yourself and be honest with yourself. How is it possible that someone so intelligent when it comes to knowing the sport of boxing, like Paulie Malignaggi, and not only just Paulie, but other fighters as well, right? They can sit over here and praise Floyd Mayweather, call him the greatest fighter of all time, call him the best of his era, call him the Michael Jordan, like I said, Nacho Beristain, Paulie Malignaggi, Mikey Garcia, Robert Garcia, Canelo's trainer now just added to the list, calling Floyd Mayweather the Michael Jordan of the sport. And then when it comes to, you know, someone asking them, what do you think about Manny Pacquiao? Their answer is simply, well, he's not really that good. And et cetera, so on and so forth, right? How do we have this type of contrast? There can only be one conclusion, right? And that conclusion simply is Manny Pacquiao is not on the level that fans want him to be, because fans in particular, they love him so much, they want him to be on a level that he is not on. And that's the reason why a lot of Manny Pacquiao fans, they're going to hate the shit that I'm saying right now, but that's the truth. That's what comes with the truth. Like I always say, living with integrity, it means speaking the truth, even if it causes conflict or tension. And this is the reason why you don't see too many people, especially on YouTube, people who make videos, you don't see too many people completely telling the truth. It is very hard to do. I'm one of the only people on YouTube who could speak the whole truth and nothing but the truth, because unlike a lot of these guys, I don't give a fuck how you take it. I'm going to keep speaking the truth. All right? But other people, they're afraid to do it, so they try to sugarcoat and butter it up and try to cater to certain viewers, hoping to keep more people watching. Nah, man, I'm throwing all of that out the window. Okay? I'm speaking nothing but the truth. You know? I mean, like I said, even when, like I told you guys before, how I had a friend who, a Mexican friend of mine, who, you know, he's a knowledgeable boxing fan like me, right? He's not going to just go with the okie doke just because everyone wants to see a certain outcome of a particular fight. But anyway, he was watching Mayweather fight against Victor Ortiz, a whole house full of his Mexican friends. And, you know, truth be told, what he tells me behind closed doors, they actually thought that Victor Ortiz had a chance of winning. He's throwing these flurries, he's throwing these combinations, he's catching Floyd with some shots. And my friend is telling me that he's telling them, I'm telling you guys, Mayweather's going to win this fight. I'm telling you guys, Mayweather's going to win this fight. He's just much better of a fighter, etc., etc. And he told me, man, the hate was ridiculous. They were calling him a sellout and all kind of other nasty things that I'm sure you guys could imagine, right? Now, what's so interesting about this whole situation is when I do a prediction video, for example, Gennady Golovkin against Curtis Stevens, all right? I picked Golovkin to win that fight. You guys can go back and you can watch my prediction video. It's still up, okay? When I did that, I had no problems. When but all of a sudden, when I picked Mayweather to beat Canelo, now all of a sudden, you're getting some Canelo fans saying you're just going for the black guy. You're just picking the black guy, etc., right? And then when I pick Guillermo Rigo to beat Donaire, I get the same type of comments. Oh, you're just saying that because you're black, etc., right? But meanwhile, here my Mexican friend is telling me he's in the room with a house full of his Mexican friends, and they're saying you're a sellout because you're not going for the Mexican guy. In other words, he was supposed to be pre-genetically disposed to automatically rooting for the guy of his race. Okay? And I want people to understand, for the people who do this, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're rooting for your own race, more power to you. There is nothing wrong with doing that. But don't turn around and attack another race because you're accusing them of doing the same thing that you do. That makes you a hypocrite, right? But anyway, the point that I was making about talking about my friend, telling these guys Floyd Mayweather is going to win this fight was to simply say that he almost got in trouble because he was in that house speaking the truth. And that goes back to what I was saying when I say speaking the truth, it causes tension and it causes conflict. People do not want to hear the truth, especially when it doesn't favor them or the guy that they're rooting for. I also uploaded a long time ago a little news clip where there was a shooting. It was after the Mayweather-Canelo fight. It was a family in Texas, I believe, some Canelo fans. They were over there watching the fight, and there was one guy there who was basically saying that Mayweather was going to win the fight, and I think he even bet on Mayweather. And after Mayweather beat Canelo, the fans, they got so upset with him, they ended up shooting and killing this guy. All right? Speaking the truth causes conflict and tension is the point that I am making. And Paulie Malignaggi, he is speaking the truth. Okay? He's speaking the truth about Manny Pacquiao. You guys could take it however you want, but the truth is the truth. And for people new to my channel, understand this: when you subscribe, when you watch my videos, you are going to get the truth. All right? If you don't want to hear the truth, if it hurts your feelings, this ain't the channel for you. Right? You can unsubscribe, you could go to another channel. That's fine with me, because there is always going to be some people who want to hear the truth. You can call me a liar, you could call me a hater, you call me whatever the hell you want to call me. But one thing you will not call me is a motherfucking liar. And that is the exact reason why whenever someone posts a message negative about me, they don't call me no liar. They don't say, Dante, it didn't make sense. They don't say anything like that. They just say some little small silly shit like you're a hater, you're biased, and this channel is biased. But they never disagree with anything that I say because they know deep down that it's the truth. And guess what? On top of that, they are always the first people that watch my videos. You know that? Soon as I upload the video, they're watching it. One of the first people to watch it. So what does that tell you? Obviously, it can't be that biased because they're right there on the very next video that I upload to watch that one, and so on and so forth. See, I know myself. I know realistically that doesn't make sense. I know that if I watched a video where the guy was completely biased, I would never watch his video again because I would say, okay, this dude is biased. And he's not really talking boxing. He's talking about who he hates and who he loves. See, when you watch my videos, I give you a breakdown. I tell you exactly why I don't think that this fighter is that good. I tell you exactly why I think this fighter is on an elite level. I never just sit over here and tell you, start a video off saying, I'm just letting you guys know I don't like this guy and this and that. And believe it or not, you actually have a lot of uploaders on YouTube who talk boxing, and they actually start off videos saying that. There's some big guys out there who have done that. Started their video off saying, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like Mayweather. And this and this and this and that. Once you start off saying that, your credibility is gone already. It's diminished, right? There's nothing else you could say because you just explained why it is you talk negative about that fighter in particular, right? Going back to watching someone who's biased. For example, when Jim Lampley came out with his new TV show, 10 minutes into watching the first episode, he made it very clear that this wasn't going to be really about talking boxing, but more to spread his agenda on getting fans to hate certain fighters and like certain fighters. So from that point on, I never watched the show again. And that is what you do when you truly believe that someone is biased and they don't know what they are talking about. That's all I got, guys. I'm on to the next one.